African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 5th of September, 2025. From August 30th to September 5th, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered a massive and four-group strikes with precision weapons and strike unmanned aerial vehicles, resulting in damage to enterprises of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, fuel, transport, and port infrastructure facilities used in the interests of the armed forces of Ukraine, military airfields, production workshops and storage sites of long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, arsenals, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries. In addition, a launch unit of the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system and a launch unit of the US-made Patriot surface-to-air missile system were destroyed. During the week, units of the North Group of troops improved their tactical position in the Sumy region. They inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of a tank brigade, 3 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade, 2 assault brigades, airborne assault and assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, a brigade and a regiment of the National Guard. In the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on formations of a mechanized brigade, 2 motorized infantry brigades, and an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the North Group of troops, enemy losses amounted to more than 1,170 servicemen, 3 tanks, 11 armored combat vehicles, 69 cars, and 20 field artillery guns, 13 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, 49 ammunition and material supply depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of troops occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They inflicted damage on formations of 3 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, an airborne assault brigade, 2 assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost more than 1,680 servicemen, 2 tanks, 33 armored combat vehicles, including 13 of Western production, 129 cars, and 23 field artillery guns, 31 ammunition depot and 53 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations were destroyed. As a result of active and decisive actions by units of the South Group of troops, the settlements of Fedorovka and Markovo in the Donetsk People's Republic were liberated. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 5 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, an airborne assault brigade, a mountain assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, a marine brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade. Over the week in this direction, losses of Ukrainian armed formations amounted to more than 1,460 servicemen, 13 armored combat vehicles, 50 cars, and 19 field artillery guns, 9 electronic warfare stations, 23 ammunition, fuel, and material supply depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. Defeated formations of 5 mechanized, infantry, airborne, 3 air assault, 2 assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 marine brigades, 3 territorial defense brigades, and 3 National Guard brigades. The enemy lost up to 2,970 servicemen, 4 tanks, 27 armored combat vehicles, 37 cars, and 17 field artillery guns. Over the past week, units of the East Group of forces, as a result of offensive actions, established control over the settlements of Kamyshavaka in the Donetsk People's Republic, Novoselivka in the Dnipropetrovsk region, and completed the liberation of the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic in the area of operations of the group. Damage inflicted on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, assault brigades, an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine, a marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. Losses of the armed forces of Ukraine in this direction amounted to over 1,590 servicemen, 1 tank, 5 armored combat vehicles, 70 cars, and 12 field artillery guns, including 5 of Western production. Units of the Dnieper group of forces inflicted damage on formations of 2 mechanized, mountain assault brigades, 3 coastal defense brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, 3 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard regiment. The enemy lost more than 450 servicemen, 1 armored combat vehicle, 70 cars, and 7 artillery guns. Destroyed were 33 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, 24 ammunition and material supply depots. During the week, air defense means shot down 12 guided aerial bombs, 13 HIMARS multiple launch rocket system projectiles of U.S. production, and 1,513 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. Today, 6 high-speed unmanned boats of the armed forces of Ukraine were destroyed in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, destroyed 666 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 81,880 unmanned aerial vehicles, 627 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,956 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,589 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 29,259 field artillery and mortar guns, 41,094 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.